Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Geekwave. This is the ASMR edition where I'm going to be slowly drinking a can of Orange Crush and licking my lips for a while. I don't know why I started it like that. Just kind of fun. Getting flirty with it. It's the dinosaur episode. About damn time. No, I love dinosaurs, man. We're talking dinosaurs this week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lit. It's going to be great. This is the low budget show. It's the show so low it has no budget. My goodness, isn't it great? Again, we got new merch available. Fantastic Tales merch is available now if you want to get some sword and sorcery into your life. The new Tsunami logo is also available if you want to get the clean edition of Tsunami. Looking very chipper, very sharp, very happy. I love it a lot. Also, the live show is off and kicking, baby. Doing great. You can get the live show doing some fun stuff there. Great stuff. I don't know why, but I'm just having a good time. I don't know why. It's weird. It's just weird to be happy. Weird to enjoy stuff. Weird to be feeling very positive about things. So dinosaurs, we'll get into in a minute here, but we do have a couple bit pieces of news to talk about. Don't you worry. We'll get into it because it's just the news, baby. It's the Geekwave. We just hit the waters, jive onto our surfboards, and ride down the Geekwave. That's what we're doing. It's very fun. Watch out for sharks because in these waters, there are sharks in the Geekwave. Always sharks in the Geekwave. Okay, Justin Lin, our favorite director of all time. The man who has stepped away from Fast 10 before they started filming or during filming. He's going to be making One Punch Man. That's right. Oh, man. Wow. A One Punch Man movie made in America. Do you think an American creator or a team of people in America... Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because it's the Venom writer who's working on this. So yeah, there's going to be some satire in there. But do you think like Sony will let it actually be like a satire? I think Sony's going to try to make like a really bad version of The Boys, where it's like, look at all these silly, dumb characters. Look how powerful our one guy is. He can hit you with one punch. I hope they get satirical with it. I don't have faith in Sony to actually accomplish that, but I do have faith in Justin Lin to tell a good story. So that I'm on board for. I think there's going to be something very special in there, very spectacular about the way that looks and feels. That's going to be very cool and creative. Hope that's going to be worth it because, come on, man, it's One Punch Man. It's like the one piece, I think, of anime that everybody knows. Well, aside from like the big ones, but like that's the one where it's like, yeah, you can understand that character. You don't have to have any context for it, and you'll understand what's happening there. It's kind of like My Hero Academia, and I've watched One Punch Man. I haven't watched My Hero. But there's things like, yeah, you can understand that. You get it. An American adaptation, it should be okay. I think we're going to learn the wrong lessons from it, though, but either way, there's something to be said about that. You could actually tell a story with that idea, and hopefully somebody does tell a good story with it. Is it this team? Maybe. I guess it all depends on who they get to play One Punch Man. Do you go for just some bald white dude? Because it can't be The Rock or Diesel or Statham. They're just not that role. It has to be just some guy. But who's just some guy? Like, it has to be known, but it can't be known. You know what I mean? You can't just get, it's Chris Pratt as One Punch Man. It has to be somebody who is iconic in their own right and looks good bald. They have to be bald. McAvoy's been bald before. Do you go Asian, though? Maybe. Yeah, it's weird. So One Punch Man coming to Sony very soon. In the next couple of years, we'll probably be seeing One Punch Man appearing somewhere. That's kind of fun. Sticking to the world of things that are really weird. The Joker 2, we talked about it last week. Well, guess what, folks? It's going to be a musical. Why? I don't know. But that's where we are. That's weird. That's just a really weird concept. I don't know if I like it. I like the idea of just like what's actually make a big budget musical. But you do know that the biggest ones of recent years have all flopped, right? Like, none of them have really been big. Maybe it's going to be more like A Star is Born, where it's like grooming a woman through music, and she's going into fantasy. So everything's going to be song and dance, and Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn, and everything's going to be like, rah, 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 I'm losing my mind, watch out. mad romance, not bad romance, a mad romance, because we're madly in love. It's something really bad, you know? Like, this is so interesting to me. I'm just blown away that Todd Phillips, I guess he did start doing comedy movies with like The Hangovers, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that he can bend genre. If he can pull this off, and I mean this sincerely, he could be one of the greatest directors of all time. Because whether I hate the Joker movie, whether or not that movie, is liked or not, it's a genre-defying piece, and The Hangover's a comedy, and you did two things pretty brilliantly. If you can pull off a musical and actually make it look authentic, I don't know, man. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Do I like his movies? Nope. Do I like him? Not really. Do I like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker? No. Do I like the Joker at all? No. Do I like Lady Gaga? Not really. Do I like Harley Quinn? Abso-fucking-lutely I like Harley Quinn. So, bunch of mixed bags, I guess. Joker 2, the musical. Out of every character to do a musical with, I don't think this one's the wrong choice. This team, though, is the wrong choice. And that's the part that's really confusing me. But who cares? We're moving on to bigger and better things. Arguably. Arguably? Maybe. I don't know if it'd be bigger or better. It should be bigger. I want like an old school musical. We kind of teased it in Birds of Prey when we did our Gentlemen Prefer Blondes moment. Just saying. If you're not going to let Birds of Prey do it, why is the Joker movie going to do it? That's weird. We do have some more stuff in the realm of comic books, though, because Destin Daniel Cretton, who made the Shang-Chi film, guess what, folks? He's going to be adapting a Wonder Man series at Disney+. I could talk endlessly about Wonder Man because he's a character I'm fascinated by. Just the idea of a dude who is pretty much just a low-life actor who can't catch a break, always dies and then becomes a pacifist and doesn't really have any staying power, but has so much staying power. I'm obsessed with that world, babe. Oh, man. I'm just like, what? Wonder Man now? Is it because people are testing good for She-Hulk and they want us to parody the MCU? Have we been doing this for so long that now we're going to parody actors being actors? I almost guarantee there's going to be a scene in the Wonder Man show where he's cast as Tony Stark in a Tony Stark movie, or cast as somebody in a superhero movie, and he's going to have to like study them and do stupid shit. I'm almost certain that's the case. And if that's the case, is that too self-referential? Is that still funny? Do we lose the joke if we are too in on the joke? I think we might. I think She-Hulk's the testing ground for that. I think we could get to the point where it's a little too referential and not as funny anymore. But I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. I hope I'm wrong about this. But Wonder Man, it does excite me. Once again, I will reiterate my choice. I've said it in 3 places now. Rob McElhenney is a great choice for Simon. Put him on the poster. You got me buying a ticket. So Wonder Man, cool. That could be fun, I guess. I'm hesitant. As much as I like the character just because he's just an insane lunatic, do it. And look, if we're going to do a Simon Williams and you need somebody to be a blue furball, just to walk in with his sunglasses and be his companion in Hollywood for a minute, I am more than willing to put on some CGI and play Hank McCoy. Just saying. If we're not going to do the X-Men yet, I'm more than willing to do that for Hank. Moving away from there, we have... this is fun. I'm so glad we get to talk about this. Game of Thrones is dead on arrival. Anybody who's still excited about anything Game of Thrones related is lying to themselves because nobody cares. Nobody cares. I've never seen a literal franchise blockbuster piece of like pop culture kill itself so fast. Where nobody's talking about it, nobody's dressing up as these characters, nobody's reading the books still, like, it's dead. I have literally sold all my Game of Thrones merch. I don't care anymore. Like, it was such a trend that lost its own legs, but guess what? Jon Snow is getting his own sequel show. Like, what? Are you kidding me? House of the Dragon isn't even out yet, and you're telling me Kit Harington signed on for this? Maybe this is what he's been wanting to do the whole time, and then Marvel was just like... yeah, you can be Jon Snow over here. It's so weird to me. I can't believe it. I guess out of everybody in that series, he was the one who seemed to be the most happy at the end. Because his story, while dumb, I guess, worked for him? Oh boy. I don't know, man. This just seems weird. It seems so out of place. But whatever. I don't care. What am I saying? I don't really give a shit if Jon Snow comes back. If Kit Harington wants to do it, let him. You know, he's getting his in just like that, and it's only been a year or two. When did Game of Thrones end? 3 years ago? It's irrelevant now. Like, it is so irrelevant that I don't even remember when people talked about it last. Like, the last time I talked about Game of Thrones was at least 2 years ago. Insane. It's literally insane how that happened. I'm blown away. Congratulations, Game of Thrones. You really are digging your own grave a little deeper each time you try. So good job, buddy. Final piece of news. I just want to touch on this quickly. Warner Brothers isn't working with Ezra Miller anymore. Good. They are a bad person. They clearly have a lot of issues they need to sort through. They should sever ties with them. Give Sasha Kaye her own standalone series or movie. Move on. Get out of there. Don't kidnap young people and give them drugs, Ezra Miller. That's literally breaking the law. It's literally the worst thing you could do as a person. I am disappointed in them immensely, but fuck, man. That is just the most cursed movie of all time, I think. Just literally because of the directors and actors attached to it. Like, holy shit, man. I feel bad for everybody involved who deserves better. Like, Andy Muschietti deserves better. Sasha Kaye deserves better. Keaton doesn't give a shit. Who cares? Like, everyone else, like, oh, man. That is tough and intense, and I hope things work out better for everybody involved in that. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about dinosaurs, because that's what we're here for. Don't worry, it's coming. All right, so the Jurassic Saga is apparently coming to an end. They said it on the posters. It's the epic conclusion of the Jurassic Saga. Does that mean the Triassic period's coming or the Cretaceous? Probably. But if that's not the case, we can't let dinosaurs die on screen. People love their little dino buddies. We have to explore more dinosaur stuff. So I have a list of other things that could potentially fill the void of the Jurassic Saga. If we were to take all of these brands and then some of my own original ideas and make them the next Jurassic Park, I'm thinking we got something special going. Keep in mind, they're just rough ideas. I didn't think them through that much. This isn't like the horror episode, but you get it. Dinosaurs are cool. Somehow Jurassic World Dominion managed to kill dinosaurs being cool, and you can listen to all of my thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion at the end of this video. I will be attaching the audio file to my full review of that, because oh boy do I have thoughts on Jurassic Dominion. So without further ado, let's talk about some already existing franchises that if we gave them a little more money, a little more time and dedication, they could take the void of the Jurassic Park world. Starting with this, I think one of the most obvious choices that it could happen, Land Before Time. Here's the thing. We have this new technology that we used in films like The Jungle Book and The Lion King. If we were to, say, retell those great cartoons in that style, I think we could get something very special going with Land Before Time. You have a built-in mythology already to play with. You have characters that people like and relate to. You can tell really fun stories and just make it look really realistic and weird. That'd be really fun. And I mean, I kind of like the idea of the Land Before Time looking cartoonish and silly because it lets kids understand, like, hey, this is fun and dumb. But let's make it weird and gross and just get like some really intense Land Before Time stuff going on where everybody's just screaming at each other, acting insane, and everything's dramatic. You know, just like a couple of kids running away from home as a group of dinosaurs. There's something to be said in that story, and then we can have them come back together and just, you know, advance our storytelling into different ways. I really like the Land Before Time franchise. There's something fun about it. It's just creative and interesting to look at. Is his name Littlefoot? I think it's Littlefoot. That's the main guy. Yeah, he's a compelling lead. Who do we get to voice him? Jacob Tremblay? Let's get him in there. Then we have Sarah, and she's the Triceratops, clearly. Leah Michelle could be her. Spike doesn't talk, so we don't have to have him talk, but we'll get, just Frank Welker to do that. Petrie's a little bitch. Is it Petrie? It's Petey or Petrie? He's a little punk, so who's like a weak-sounding kid? Who's like somebody that sounds weak? I don't know any young people. Let's just say one of the Stranger Things kids could be him. And then Ducky is clearly Olivia Rodrigo. These are bad choices, but come on. It's the Land Before Time. You could do something really fun with it. Get very creative. Get unique. Come on. Jungle Book it up. And if we're Jungle Booking it up, why not Jungle Book up the Ice Age movies? Look, Blue Sky Studios shut down production, meaning nobody's really doing anything else with these characters. So if we want to do like a big old CG woolly mammoth and sloth and saber-toothed tiger, you could do something fun with that. I think that could be enjoyable and interesting. The Ice Age movies are just fun and kind of camp, but if you take that premise and you make it a little more mature, like the Jungle Book, you get something special. You get something creative that I think a lot of people would relate to and connect to and could have a good time exploring. So, of course, you got to do that with the Jungle Book stuff because it just changed the game. We don't even need human characters anymore. We can make it look like a realistic Jaguar or whatever and just get Idris Elba. We don't even have to try hard anymore. But, of course, we try hard because these are all try hard. And you can't just make these easy. They're difficult stuff. You're going to struggle with it a little bit. But those are like the two ones I'm like, yeah, let's just update that and make it look Jungle Book-ish. This next one on my list, I really like. I have a vague recollection of it from when I was a child. And it's kind of this story. I think it's like originally like a kids programming show called Harry and His Bucket Full of Dinosaurs. So what is this? It's Harry. He's a little boy. He's got a bucket of dinosaurs, and when they come out, they're dinosaurs. Yeah. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're little. All I know is, wouldn't that be a fun concept to see explored in a terrifying CG world where this kid's like, I have a bucket. Every time I take the dinosaurs out of the bucket, they grow to ginormous sizes and they terrorize the world, but they're friendly to me. Wouldn't that be fun to see? You got all these distinctive personalities with these dinosaurs too. Just looking at photos of it, I'm getting hit with nostalgia, baby. I love it. Look how cool it is. They're just fun. Like, come on. Wouldn't that be sick? A great kids program, because dinosaurs should be for kids. If you want an adult dinosaur thing, watch Prehistoric Planet. It's really good. But I think that would just be so much fun. Just a little kid, again, Jacob Tremblay, because he's constantly only been 6 for like 100 years now. Give him a little bucket with little dinosaurs in it. Yet maybe they're not real, maybe they're real. They're just cute little dinosaurs that he's playing with. There you go. It's fun. It's a cool concept. Just something different. Just something different and cool and campy and weird and just could be really creative. And of course, I doubt this will ever happen because they're doing Bedrock, but come on, let's just reboot the Flintstones already. I am waiting for the Flintstones to get their big reboot. I'm a Flintstones fanatic. I want to see these guys get their big opportunity again to do something big, crazy, and cool. Please do it. Please give me some more big old dinosaur, prehistoric rumbling in Bedrock. Like, I want it. I know we're getting that Bedrock cartoon at some point, but come on, man. Let's try it again. It's time again, man. Let's do like the Mark Russell comic and make fun of stuff. You know? Could actually do it right this time. I'm just saying. And sticking on that note a little bit, I just want to see them redo Dinosaurs, the ABC series. I'm going to, don't know when, at some point I am going to do an entire video talking about dinosaurs in one big retrospective, because this show, with the prosthetic Sinclair family, honestly, I think redefined my life. It's probably one of the most iconic shows in my opinion. Something I look back on fondly for what it was trying to do and what it's trying to say, and the way it actually told compelling stories almost every outing. Sometimes it loses its own momentum, but man, is it cool. So if you're going to do Flintstones again, do it. But if you're doing that, come on, dinosaurs it up, baby. Let's do dinosaurs again. Now, these next two, I think these two are almost very likely going to happen just because why wouldn't it? Look what we are. First off, Dino Riders. Like, it's based on a property that people can know the name of, even if you don't know anything else except the name Dino Riders. You get the concept. Dinosaurs with weapons, and people ride them, and it's just a cartoon from the time period where that's what was happening. Wouldn't that be sick? I think it could be, like, that is just your next Transformers, essentially. Dino Riders. Just dinosaur-loving freaks. You know, just giving dinosaurs weapons. Like, that is the next evolution of this world, and we'll talk about the evolution after that in a second. But Dino Riders are just like, you know the name, you understand the concept, you can explore it into some creative and original ways, so why not try it? Who owns the license to Dino Riders, and why aren't you trying to get a movie made? If the Jurassic Saga is over, it's time for Dino Riders to step in and do the next big thing. That's all I'm saying. I think you could do something very creative with that. Very fun. And if we're still talking about toys in the dinosaur aesthetic, how about this toy line that is clearly a 90s just insanity Street Sharks ripoff? Extreme Dinosaurs. You know. It's just a classic Ninja Turtles ripoff, but dinosaurs that are extreme. There was a cartoon about it, and this is the thing I also want to happen that just doesn't for some reason. Give me my anamorphic dinosaur people in movies, please. Like, come on, I want to see Ninja Turtles tackle the Triceratops. Why can't they do that? Why is that so hard to do? We could see Shredder a million times, but a freaking Triceratops we can't do for some reason. Give me these insane dinosaur creatures, please. Just these anamorphic ones, just doing your big teeth stuff in the Triceratops one, or the Stegosaurus one. Why can't we do it? Why is that such a challenge for some people? Like, there's so much about that could be so fun to look at. So why can't we do it? My goodness. They're not wearing shirts, but they all got pants on. They're all extreme and they got guns and shit. Why can't we make this live action? Why can't we do this a big budget thing? You tell me kids wouldn't eat the shit out of that? You tell me kids wouldn't... I would lose my mind if this ever happened. Extreme Dinosaurs, if we ever brought that back, are you kidding me? The world would change. And then just imagine how much other shit we would have coming back because of that. Not just Street Sharks, but just like all those other just terrible shows from that era. Like the one with the fish people. And we'll get Silverhawks finally. Just all that stuff returning, man. My goodness. Like freaking Extreme Dinosaurs, man. They look intense and crazy. I love it. Like, why? Why haven't we done this? We can do a million Ninja Turtle movies, but we can't try with these. Like, I just found a piece of custom art that I'm going to be putting up because that just changed the way I look at the world. This piece just literally changed the game of how I look at anything. So I'm going to be putting that up for a little bit for you guys to see. Oh, man, that's gorgeous. This, more than anything else we could do, is the one I want to see. My goodness. The world, we deserve better, man. We deserve better. We deserve this. It's almost not even worth talking about my other choices because I don't even have anything else interesting. Jurassic League, the current ongoing book. Not ongoing, it's just a mini-series. This current mini-series happening from DC Comics where the DC characters are just dinosaurs. Do that. Make that animated movie, man. Make that a big thing. You already did Super Pets. This is the next step to go. Do it, man. Get it. Do it. Come on. And then I just got a Lost World remake. Classic movie. People kind of know the name. Just reboot it, I guess. Who's gonna care? Who's gonna know, anyways? Those are all my already existing properties. I have some original ideas that I do want to touch upon a little bit here before we jump into Jurassic World. Again, these are just kind of stuff that I ran through my mind. It's a mix of everything I just talked about. Classic dinosaurs, anamorphic ones, talking ones with guns. It's a mix of all of that. First off, a time travel story where humans go to the dinosaur era and learn to survive. That's it. You can build a franchise out of that. Maybe civilization is doomed in the future, and the last vestige of humanity has to go back in time to restart civilization, thus completing the circle of life. Now we have to learn to survive in the land of dinosaurs. Can we do that? Can it be possible? But we have today's technology in the time of the past. How does it work? Is that how we give guns to dinosaurs? Maybe. Maybe that's what we'd see. Or reverse that. Dinosaur worlds being killed off in the past. Dinosaurs come to the present day and mess shit up. Maybe this is where we give dinosaurs guns again. I just want dinosaurs to have guns. Just something to explore, People like time travel for some reason. Why not have some really messed up time travel where like 100 dinosaurs show up in the modern era and suddenly society has to deal with that? Maybe we try to blow them up and we can't because they're too strong. Maybe they literally kill a civilization and now we are dealing with that ramification. Maybe the government wants to control them. That's something to explore. Or, again, we reverse that. Maybe the last vestige of humanity comes to the prehistoric era. How do we survive with today's technology, unlimited supply, while fighting off against a Stegosaurus? Something to explore, something to think about. Chew on that one for a minute. And while you chew on that one, here is another idea that I like. It's the movie Predator, but it's a dinosaur instead of a predator. And you don't tell anybody. It's just the modern day. People go into a forest, and then suddenly this dinosaur comes out. It could be a raptor. It could be an iguanodon. Just something comes out of the forest and starts killing people. And then you're like, oh shit, if there's one dinosaur, is there more dinosaurs alive? And it's like, have dinosaurs been like living secretly on this world forever? That could be fun. Just give me more things like killing people in the woods movies, like good ones. Just hunting and scaring shit. Like, that's really fun. I like that. And now this one I really enjoy as a concept too. It's just really silly and dumb, and I think it's kind of interesting. I like a good detective story, I like a good cowboy story, and I like a good space ranger story. What if we try to do all of those, but instead of humans, they're just dinosaurs? The anamorphic dinosaurs are back. We're just doing the Maltese Falcon, but now it's the what's another like color, like the prehistoric Petrodon or something like that. And we just have like a T-Rex detective trying to solve the case of who stole this last egg of this endangered species, Something like that. Or it's like the cowboy days, and these cowboys are ranchers, It's Yellowstone with dinosaurs kind of shit. Like the carnivores are like ranching the herbivores, and we're going to have like an uprising happen eventually. Or maybe dinosaurs in space, Maybe when the asteroids came down, a group of them got a spaceship somehow. And they just left, and now they're doing space adventures. That could be fun. I love it. Look, we have technology that allows us to do these things, and it's a little more costly. But try it. Not every character needs to be human. It could be fun to try other things in those big animation styles. And now, my final idea, which I think is kind of exciting. Dinosaurs have come from space, and when they learn that we destroyed our planet, it gets personal. That's right. This is the Ice Age. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. This is Extinction Part 2. This time, it's personal. We thought the dinosaurs died, but now they're coming back. This time, it's personal. Just imagine a movie where you think everything is going fine. Your classic alien story, Independence Day arrival bullshit. And when we get on the spaceship, it's a freaking pterodactyl. And suddenly, like, why is a dinosaur in space? And suddenly we learn dinosaurs have evolved on their own planet to the point to return to Earth. They find out that every other dinosaur on this planet is dead, and now they want justice for their lost tribe. That's what you do. You just call it Dinosaurs in Space. This time it's personal. They're silly ideas. And I mean, again, why not? It's dinosaurs. It's no more silly than literally like finding a mosquito and changing the DNA of a fucking frog to build a dinosaur. If you were to say they come from space, that's more logical than just we created it in a lab. It's no more different. But put them in a trench coat, give them a little hat, send them into the dusty streets of a rainy city. I know that's a counterintuitive thing to describe, but I just did. The dusty streets of of a rainy city. And you could do something special there. T-Rex Detective. T-Rex-tive. No, Detect Rex. Detective Rex. That took a minute. Is that a movie with Whoopi Goldberg already? What's that one called? Do that, but good. But with just dinosaurs. Come on. Kids love Humphrey Bogart movies. Put a dinosaur in there, and you're selling millions of copies of something special. But of anything I talked about, the ones I think are most likely to happen are Land Before Time, Dino Riders, the bullshit I said about time travel, and maybe a Lost World remake. But Extreme Dinosaurs, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. No recommendations for you this week. Just go watch Extreme Dinosaurs because it's freaking cool. And when we come back from the break, you are going to hear my audio version of my review of Jurassic World Dominion. Jurassic World Dominion. The end of the Jurassic era. It's here. 30 years in the making. 6 movies. It's here. It's cinema. Okay. If you read the thumbnail, you know what I'm already thinking about this film. Let's start with this. The Jurassic World movies have kind of been diminishing returns. I think literally the franchise has been diminishing returns. And maybe that's why no other studio or company or IP has really ventured into the realm of dinosaurs. Because since Jurassic Park came out, like the original, no one else was like, hey, let's try to do a big budget dinosaur thing. Independent studios or like B-horror, B-list movies, just like schlocky shit have done it. But no big budget studios like, let's do a dinosaur movie. Just the Jurassic movies. And they've all gotten worse somehow. I don't know how, but they did. So the first Jurassic World, bigger park, same premise as the first one, but bigger park. Cool. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. What if we saved the dinosaurs from the park, but we sold them to rich people, and rich people could turn them into weapons or whatever, or like use a laser pointer and have... I'm so confused by the laser pointer technology where you point the laser at the thing it wants to kill and it just instinctively knows. You don't have to hold the laser on the person. You just shine the laser on it. I don't know what that means, but that's technology. And there's cloning, and we cloned a girl, and the girl is special. So that's Fallen Kingdom. We come to Dominion. I know what you're thinking. Dinosaurs are now out in the world, and we're experiencing them, and we're living among them. Is that the premise of this movie? How do we live in a world with dinosaurs and learn to coexist? No, that's not the premise of this movie. The premise of this movie, it's actually 2 movies in one. The first premise is giant locusts are eating crops. They're engineered by evil people. And basically it's like we brought these locusts in and we'll own the food supply and start the world anew or something. A lot of locusts in this dinosaur movie. Okay. So that's one plot. And then our original cast from the first trilogy, or just like the first movie pretty much, come back to deal with that and like, I guess like what, blackball them and be like, stop it. We're going to go live and release the information on the locusts and you'll be shut down. And this is my first problem with the film. If this is supposed to be the real world, there's no way like blackmailing an organization with the info about them releasing locusts would actually do any damage. If that happened in the real world and somebody was a whistleblower and they're like, hey, this company produced locusts that are destroying crops except the crops they make, no one's stopping that. If that's happening, those people who could potentially shut down Biosyn are being bought off by Biosyn. So that's a pointless plot, and it's really dumb. The second plot is the clone girl is now a teenager and she's angsty. She doesn't want to be stuck at home with her adopted parents who have no chemistry. Chris Pratt, who his star power is slowly fading, and you can feel that. I think the Tomorrow War was the final cap in his hat for just like, okay, we get what you're about now, dude. Goodbye. and Bryce Dallas Howard, who deserves better than this franchise. So they have no chemistry. They have an adopted daughter. She gets kidnapped by some people because BD Wong, who was a villain in the previous iterations, has a change of heart out of nowhere, and he's like, I'm going to make this better, and you can do it because your mom messed with her cells, and she used her cells to make herself asexual, and she could create her own baby. And that's what you did, and now you're like the perfect specimen, just like Blue was, and Blue had a baby raptor. And I'm like, okay, this is okay. Like, I understand coming from like a genetic standpoint in a Jurassic Park film, because the original story is like we genetically modified DNA from these old things to recreate dinosaurs, but we also spliced the DNA together with other creatures. So I get that. What a weird hill to die on, though, for this franchise. Because I don't know if that's what the general audience is excited about, is the DNA splicing and genetic coding of these creatures. But there you go. So this girl, Maisie, is it Maisie? Yeah, who cares? She is a baby. She was born a baby, not a test tube baby, but the mom made her DNA altered, and she also had a genetic disease that didn't get passed on to the daughter. It doesn't matter. So she's kidnapped, but for good and bad reasons. Who's to say, really, because it doesn't care. And then what happens when the locust plot and the perfect clone plot come together? Not much. This is a pretty... It's exhausting. It's an exhausting film solely because there's really no purpose to anything going on. It feels like it wants to say something about the world. Like, there could be an environmental standpoint where it's like, if we learn to coexist with the creatures of our nature, then something would feel good. But then it's like, what if we lit all the grasshoppers on fire and sent them out into the wild to burn down a forest? And you're like, whoa, what are we doing? Why is that the case? So we're going to save certain animals, but it's so weird and a mixed bag of everything. It's trying too hard for everything. And this is like the end of the Jurassic era. It's their final movie, but the numbers are so good, you know it's not going to be the final movie. It's kind of just exhausting to watch everything going on. First off, out of every one of these movies, everyone, going back to the original from the 90s, every one of these movies, this is the one that is the loudest, and it sucks. Now, I don't know if this was just the theater I saw this in didn't have perfect sound quality or was bad, but the audio at times was terribly mixed, and in certain moments, I really did not like the sound editing and mixing. Specifically in the more action-oriented scenes, there's too much background noise, too much stuff going on, and the sound effects for in particular, what really stood out to me was the chase scene of the laser-pointed dinosaurs that just, you shine a laser and they follow it, even if the laser's no longer on that guy. When Chris Pratt's man is on the motorcycle and the dinosaurs are chasing him, the sound effect for the dinosaurs, the sound of the motorcycle, the background noise of everything in the scene clashed terribly and sounded horrendous. I hope it was just my theater couldn't have the proper surround sound to make it sound good, but oof, it sounded rough, and I did not enjoy that. The acting's just bad. It's just bad. And I like a lot of the people in this cast. Am I a big fan of Jeff Goldblum? Not really, but he's doing what you pay him to do. Do I like Chris Pratt too much? Not really, but he's doing what you told him to do. Laura Dern was fun. She is clearly somebody who puts all into everything she does. As much as I like Bryce Dallas Howard, she didn't get much to do. And this is a thing that all of these movies do for some reason. Bryce Dallas Howard's character has to go through the most traumatic experiences. It's weird and it's not cool and it's just exhausting and tiresome. And just I get it, whatever, move past it. It's what it is. But yes, the original cast is back. Sam Neill I feel like Sam Neill wouldn't sign on for this, but I'm like, nah, he probably would because he did Thor for a minute. So yeah, I guess he would do stuff like this. It's very interesting, the storyline they play with this, because I'm a huge fan of just hey, old people are still horny. Let's do stuff with that. And yeah, that's the story here. Alan's still interested in, what's her name? Ellie, whatever, Laura Dern's character. But she had kids. Jeff Goldblum's character says he had 5 kids. I'm like, that tracks. But were you, whatever. I don't care about the previous stories if you had a daughter or not in them. Maybe it was Vince Vaughn. Yeah, it's just a jumbled mess of characters and ideas that are clashing. Bad story, bad premises that go nowhere. For a story about dinosaurs that's set about like the dinosaur world, the dinosaurs are poorly used in this. Like the CG is very noticeable in very bad moments. You feel the rush job for certain moments. The practical effects, fewer there. It's more just like the small handheld dinosaurs or like a puppet you could see the head of. Would I like to see a full-bodied mechanical dinosaur? Yeah. Do we get that? Not really. Then we have a couple just like standard dinosaurs that are just like, these are the big ones. The T-Rex is back. That poor T-Rex. I feel like that T-Rex should just get a break. You know, let's put him on like his own island where he can hunt whatever he wants because he's been through hell and back. There's a gigantic giga whatever the fuck Saurus. It is the one that I think Colin Trevorrow said's like the Joker and it's just out for blood. I don't care. It wasn't even fun. I was like, he's referring to a dinosaur as the Joker? What does that mean? Nothing, apparently. It actually served no purpose and didn't do anything for the story. Then there's one with like big claws and feathers. That's a big boy. I'm like, are you the one that's the Joker? There's like one scene where it like swats a deer. I'm like, oh, that's kind of Jokerish, just to like push shit out of your way. But that's it. So don't set up you have a Joker-like dinosaur and then they're all just dinosaurs. It's boring. And it looked bad and it looked rushed. And I really hated this. The bad guy is just Steve Jobs who can't talk to people properly. It's infuriating and I hated it. I got it. And then we introduced new characters. A pilot and a guy who understands how betrayal works. I don't know their names. I don't know if they have names. They're okay, but they're just there because we need more people to shove onto a helicopter at the end. Because when all of these stories collide, it's just like watching like a group of 10 people run away from something. And you can't keep track of everybody. So because of that, you feel like the scenes when they're out of focus, they really are out of focus. There's a couple times, especially in the more like action-oriented scenes, where we just feel like the camera's a little bit blurry and not really focused. I'm like, this is your big tentpole picture. You can't give it the extra mile just to make it look polished and cleaner. Whatever. I don't see. And the thing is, like, do people care about that stuff for this film? I feel like the point of the first Jurassic Park movie was like, this is a suspended story with tension, rising actions, and conflicts that you can believe and feel authentic. And as it progressed, it's like, that's not what people want to see from this. They just want to see cool actors running away from dinosaurs and those things. I'm like, is that what we want? Is that what we want? And now we're this far in. Fire locusts burning an island after they destroyed the crops for an evil organization that built their own Jurassic Park that's not open to the public. It's like an environmental reserve that we burnt to the ground. We have every original character coming back that's still alive, dealing with this new cast, and they're all meeting each other for the middle. And there's like this cloned girl of the granddaughter of the clone girl is the granddaughter of the friend of John Hammond, who also worked on the original park. And then the scientist who worked on the original park that had like one scene in the original movie worked with her mother and it was like, your mother was building this stuff for something impressive. And then like, look what she did. She made you without flaw and we can use you to like stop all this stuff. We can also use the DNA from the raptor to do that. But as that's going on, there's an evil subplot going on involved about like the corruption of organizations. And while we're doing that, we see this fight for like the mother and father to find their daughter again. All while in the backdrop, there's potentially more realistic dinosaurs that are controlled neurologically in some capacity, but not the way that the laser raptors are controlled where you point a laser. It's more like we put stuff in their brain and now suddenly we can tell the dinosaurs where to go and how to behave, but it doesn't work all the time. It only works on specific dinosaurs at specific moments. And then at the end, it's like, okay, we have to get off the planet. Why don't we shut off like the thing that keeps the pterodactyls from flying away? We put them on the ground so they can't get us up, but then we can somehow get up. And it's like, so we're controlling the pterodactyls to do that. But if the fact is like we turned that on, the other dinosaurs wouldn't be behaving. Only the ones that fly would be behaving. But then wouldn't like, oh. But this is the end game, the final installment for the Jurassic Saga. Goes out on a whimper where nothing truly happens and everything goes exactly as you planned. There's no tension, no creativity to it. Just an ending to a film that's 2.5 hours long with characters you like doing nothing you enjoy. And it's really just stale and boring. And it really got me thinking. And this will probably be its own video at some point. But the Lego sequel has really, really suffered lately, hasn't it? And it sucks because we just had Top Gun Maverick, which was this brilliant piece of filmmaking. Absolutely breathtaking, a stunning film that knew exactly what it was doing and told a precise story. And I wonder if that's just because it's Tom Cruise, and that if Tom Cruise wasn't involved behind the scenes in Top Gun, it would be a piece of shit. And I think it would. I think because Tom Cruise was there, it saved Maverick. I think nobody involved in Dominion is a big enough fan of filmmaking and storytelling, and they're more fans of Jurassic Park, if that makes sense. Or it's more like, let's get the Barbasol container again, and the same raptors that kill Newman can come in and kill the evil Steve Jobs guy. And you're like, okay. And then Ellie can wear like the same outfit she wore in the first movie and do like the same thing where she takes off her glasses and she's like, hey, dinosaur. And it's like, really? Is that the story we want to see? But she's just looking at like locusts and shit? Or do we want to see like Alan like still like haunt kids by talking about how a raptor slits your throat? You're like, what? Why do we want to see that? There's literally a scene where like Jeff Goldblum has his shirt unbuttoned and the female character's like, okay, dude. And he's like, oh, okay, sorry. Because I'm 60. Oh, okay. And the dinosaurs suck. If you do a story about dinosaurs and you don't have the dinosaurs be cool, that's on you for making something bad. And again, I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin of big budget dinosaur movies. Because if you have a franchise that's making $1 billion each outing, and in your last installment, you focus on a grasshopper, what is the point of any of this? And I've said this for years. I will keep saying it. It will literally cost you no extra money to make the dinosaurs talk. So just do that, okay? At least that's an idea. At least, like, maybe we mix the human DNA and the dinosaur DNA and they kiss and whatever. Like, it's just exhausting and there's no chemistry for the actors. And I just feel bad for having wasted my time watching this because it's just exactly what I knew it was going to be, but somehow more lazy. Like, I saw the bad reviews and I thought, that can't be that bad. It is. And I don't care anymore. I think these actors should get more work doing better things. And if this is the end of the Jurassic era, it deserves its end. There's one scene where I was like, that's realistic, and that's when the teenager flips somebody off like this with their extra finger out. I'm like, that's realistic, that's authentic. That's the only part of this I think is enjoyable. Very boring, very stale, very exhausting. Everything, like, the ending is just so bad and boring. But the shots where it's like they do coexist and the animals are together with the dinosaurs, that's a message, I guess. But whatever. It's done. Long live the Jurassic era and say hello to the Triassic. Is that where we're going to go next? Or the Cretaceous? I said Cretaceous a lot in this film. Makes me think we're going to do like a Cretaceous Criterion collection of whatever. Okay. That's it. That's got to be it. It's bad. It's bad. Just don't watch it, please. Just don't watch it. So Jurassic World Dominion, the end of the Jurassic era, I'm going to give a 3 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. God help us all. Good luck.